I thought I would try to record a video. This may not work because I'm quite tired. I just got back from dialysis, had dinner. Before I talk about dialysis, I just want to say thank you so much. This has been a strange process, setting up, strange for me, setting up the fundraising. And I just wanted to say, because I thought it might be helpful, because I do not want anyone to end up on dialysis, but if I had known a little bit about it, it might not have helped at all, actually, but it's very intense, and everything surrounding it. And I'm so tired of talking about myself, honestly. When you have a chronic illness or chronic condition, and every time I see people, I have to report symptoms and talk about what happened, and they're trying to keep me alive, so it's okay, but it gets really boring. So I'll talk about someone else first. One of my dialysis friends, I guess you could call them, my dialysis people, was a woman who was older than me and had gone through a lot and was just starting dialysis. And I was chatting with her in the waiting area to go in, and she said to me, tell me it gets easier, because she had started. And I said, I can't. I just can't, because I would have been lying, and I can't do that. It really doesn't get easier. It actually gets harder and harder, because the more time goes on, the less kidney function you have, the more fluid and waste that have to be removed from your blood, the more drained you are, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been on dialysis for 3 years and 6 months. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at the hemodialysis clinic. Some people have dialysis at home, but it was not an option for me because I started during the pandemic, A. B, because I live alone and it can be quite dangerous. Things happen. It's very much like an emergency room in there. The techs and the nurse are all watching everyone's machines intently, so they really don't even have time to talk, even if we had the energy to talk. Sometimes we do. It takes at least 15 to 20 minutes to get set up, and then the machine runs for 3.5 hours, and then another half hour at least to come off, because the needles are so large that you have to hold your, I have a fistula, you have to hold your arm. You have to keep pressure on the wounds, basically, that you're getting 3 days a week. For me, it's only about 10 minutes. Some people who have other conditions and medications are sometimes in there for another hour trying to stop the bleeding. And I've seen several times over the years the emergency ambulance coming because someone could not stop bleeding or there was some other issue. So I'm doing amazingly well. That's how I feel. I feel so much for so many people in there who will never get off of dialysis. And I had no idea I would. And most people there have diabetes or high blood pressure. Very few people. I'm the only one in my clinic whose kidneys failed from an autoimmune disease. Some people, it depends on the person. I have other issues to manage in my body, so It can be more draining for me. And why am I saying all this? Because there's so much more I could say. You feel like, I mean, your blood is being taken out of your body and cleaned through a machine. It strips everything out of your blood, not just the toxins, but all the good stuff too. Protein and electrolytes, and so you just feel like somebody. I remember walking out into the parking lot and I saw another friend's wife, and she said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I feel like somebody just sucked the life out of me." And she said, "They did." So it's a very odd thing when people ask me, do you feel better? And I want, being on, when I started dialysis, and I wanted to say not at all, but the other option was not being able to breathe. I was starting to get very short of breath. That's one of the first symptoms. And there are so many restrictions with the diet, and you can only drink, if your kidneys aren't functioning at all, you can only have 32 ounces of water a day. If you can't get to dialysis, you're told not to drink any fluids at all if there's an emergency. And there are restrictions on potassium and calcium and definitely sodium. It's very intense. So when people say, "How do you sit there for that long?" I want to say, I'm just practically I'm only half alive. That's how it feels like. The first half hour I can maybe read a little, and then everybody just kind of, is reclining and trying to get through it. It's very hard to describe the feeling of your so much blood being taken out of your body. They have to create special portals in our bodies in order to get out a lot of blood at once. So they create fistulas in the arms or legs where they combine an artery and a vein together, or that people have a catheter temporarily when they start. Some people have a graft. There's lots of things. There are just so many things to manage and so many things surrounding this. So I think that it's just impossible to know how much. I mean, for me, my life changing would be, just not to have to go do that, to be able to drink as much water as I want would be just incredible. It's hard for me to even remember having energy. And I've been told several times that people start feeling better immediately. The day they put the kidney in your body, which goes in the front of your body towards your pelvis. They keep your own kidneys in there. Another thing I did not know. There's so many things I could talk about, but I really there are so many people in such poor health, and I feel like in a little bit of a way, it is going to be hard to tell people that I've been approved because they're so happy for you, but it's also sort of bittersweet. So I'm saying all this because I just had no idea, and I have had a kidney disease since, they think it started in 2001. So